While the majority of large ICT companies are compliant with broad-based Black economic empowerment legislation, many small to medium-sized ITC businesses with a turnover of 35 million rands do not have the relevant scorecard and are losing business as a result. Joining us to explain broad-based Black economic empowerment legislation in South Africa's ICT sector is Keith Levenstein. He is the CEO of advisory firm Economy. Keith, thank you so much for joining us. Why is BEE good for business?
There are two reasons why companies would want to embrace broad-based Black economic empowerment. One is it is the right thing to do. We have a legacy in this country of inequality and we need to do it. But the other reason why a company would want to get a B certificate is his customers want it. And the main reason why anybody should go along and get a B certificate, in particular measured by means of a good B level, is because it's going to help your customers. So when I do work for a customer, I want to give them a good product and a good service. But one other thing, and that is due to those 7 elements of BEE, one other thing that my customer wants is a good BE level, because my good BE level is going to translate to improving his own BE level. It can translate into a major discount or a major benefit in terms of money, because there is a cost to companies who can't become compliant. So the more we can help a company get a better B level, the better it is going to be for us as well. And we're more than likely to see more business coming our way if we had a good BE scorecard. It's not only, of course, ICT, it's every single industry.
So what in particular about the ICT sector, and particularly with small and medium-sized enterprises, is hindering them from seeing this obvious benefit, and why are they losing out?
I think that's an excellent question. In most cases, it's probably ignorance of the legislation. BEE, or broad-based Black economic empowerment, is an emotional topic. And many people don't want to look at it and understand that BEE is really an easy policy to implement. It's not difficult, it's actually beneficial. You feel jolly good doing so, and you get lots of business. So the larger companies have maybe spent a bit of time, a bit more effort in understanding what the 7 elements are all about. The smaller businesses, maybe because they're IT, and I've been in the IT industry at some point myself, and maybe because we techno geeks and we love the computer side of things, and we don't really want to look at the pure business side, but business and making a profit and turnover is what drives everyone's business.
Whose responsibility is it then to ensure that the techno geeks and every other small and medium-sized business is actually well aware of the 7 elements of BEE, which we'll get to, but they understand that BEE is not only about ceding ownership?
I would tend to think, Nazipo, that the responsibility should be government, in particular the Department of Trade and Industry. But they don't really do so, so it tends to become you in the media, us as consultants, to try and get the understanding and the education out to those businesses that it's not an insurmountable obstacle. It certainly isn't, I must give my business away. That's the last thing that we want anybody to do. It's a matter of understanding what those 7 elements are and then choosing to become compliant with some or all of those elements in order to get a really good B score.
So if we were to then zoom in onto these 7 elements, for a small or medium-sized business, where can they tap in to enhance their competitive advantage? Where does one start? Assuming that it's not realistic to try and meet all 7 levels all at once.
Well, of course, the starting point is we look at their turnover. If the company's turnover is really small and below 5 million rand, those companies are already compliant. They simply need to give proof that they are. If their turnover is between 5 and 35 million rand, they only need to worry about 4 of those 7 elements in order to become compliant. And if they are above 35 million rand, they do need to worry about all 7. But depending on who the company is, who owns the company, they can earn a lot of good points on the socio-economic development, which is your contribution to charity. It could be enterprise development, which is a really nice task. I love helping other businesses. And that's what enterprise development is all about. Let's help other businesses. Of course, procurement is the big one, because if I can buy from, in quotes, the right suppliers, those who have got a good B score, I'm going to get a whole lot of points as well. And then, is there anything wrong with training our staff? In any aspect, if it is in health and safety, if it is in accounting, if it is in any aspect relating to the business, we do training, we're going to earn a lot of points. And if you don't mind, I'm going to mention one particular company, Nestle. which is not an ICT company, but they are a wholly foreign-owned company. They have reached 73 points on their scorecard, which is fantastic, without them even having to start the process of looking for a BE partner, which is sometimes daunting and is also, of course, quite possible to achieve.
Let's look at the reality of the compliance process. Is it as complex as it's made out to be?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, maybe because I am an expert, I do understand it, but it's really not that terribly complicated. I can give a training course to you or anybody in half a day, and you would understand the basics of BEE. If you want to become an accountant, it's going to take you 7 years, university and articles, etc. So it's not really that terribly difficult. Yes, there is work to be done. There is a little bit of expense, and there is spend, particularly on socio-economic development and skills development. And you've got to focus your business on those B aspects. But no, it really isn't that terribly difficult.
So if we were to go back to the broader objectives of BEE, which is really to look at broad-based growth for the South African economy as just one of the means of addressing inequality, would you say that we're on the right track?
I would definitely say we're on the right track. I'm very positive about the approach that they've taken in BEE. Yes, there have been some problems with implementation, but we certainly are achieving the objectives of the BEE Act, and the preamble to the Act specifically talks about 2 areas, which is the skills development part. It says that many people have been deprived access to skills development, and of course the aim is to grow the economy. So if we can do something to grow the economy, we're all going to get better, or wealthier, or better.
Very quickly, Keith, if we look at the legislative environment, is the environment enabling the BEE to meet its objectives?
I do believe so. Once again, it has taken a long time. It was only in December of last year that government themselves finally implemented true BEE policies with regard to state-owned enterprises. So it's only been a short while. We've been 18 years into our great democracy, but we've only been 6 months into the true full BEE process. It has been going since 2003, of course, but that's not long enough.